we do want to bring our viewers to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. They're giving us an update on last night's deadly police shooting in Newark. Let's take a listen.
Alex Albu, Chief of Detectives Mitchell G. McGuire, and other members of the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, as well as the Newark Police Department. We're also joined by Essex County Sheriff Amir Jones and Newark Chief of Police Sharonda Morris, Special Agent in charge for Homeland Security Investigations Ricky Patel, Special Agent in charge for the ATF Elsie Cheeks, Special Agent in charge for DEA Cheryl Ortiz, and the Special Agent in charge for the FBI Terrence Riley. I now turn the podium to Prosecutor Stevens.
Thank you, Carmen. Good morning. Yesterday at approximately 6:30 p.m., Newark officers encountered several individuals in the vicinity of Broadway and Carteret here in the city of Newark. Based on criminal intelligence, the police were investigating the possibility that these individuals had illegal firearms. Shots were exchanged upon the interaction with the police and those individuals, and unfortunately, 2 officers and 1 suspect were hit by gunfire. 5-year veteran Officer Joseph Azcana was shot before he even had the opportunity to leave his police car. At 2:34 this morning, he was pronounced at University Hospital here in Newark. There was a second officer also shot. His injuries are expected not to be life-threatening. He is continuing to recover in the hospital, and because of that, the delicacy of that recovery, his name will not be released at this time at the request of the Newark Police Division. One gun was recovered from the suspects. Several individuals are in custody as a result of that interaction, and they're being interviewed by the police and by the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. One of the suspects is 14 years old. That juvenile has been charged with numerous crimes, including murder, attempted murder, and possession of illegal weapons. He's currently hospitalized and is being treated also for non-life-threatening injuries. Obviously, this is a continuing investigation, so we're not going to be able to talk much more about the circumstances until the investigation continues to evolve. However, I will say this. Obviously, any sort of a gun interaction like this is the sort of thing that happens far too often, and we need to do everything we can to make sure that we limit those, if not eradicate those, to the extent that we can. The thing to remember primarily is that the officers involved are heroes. The everyday heroes that work the streets of the city of Newark and cities and municipalities like it throughout this county, without this state, within this nation. So they continue to be individuals who are worthy to be in our prayers and our thoughts, and we have to support them to the extent that we can. Despite everything that goes on and the difficulties, we're continuing to be buoyed by the interactions and the collaborations we have. The individuals who Ms. Martin mentioned by name, we want to thank them for their continued support. It's through those collaborations that we're able to move as quickly as we can. It was an effort. I was with the team that was doing the investigation into the wee hours of this morning, and trust me, just about everybody behind me was here throughout that endeavor as well. That shows their dedication to make sure that we keep the streets as safe as possible, that we bring perpetrators to justice, and we do everything we can to keep the public safe. At this time, I'd like to introduce the director of the Newark Police, actually public safety director. I'm sorry, he got a promotion. He used to be the chief, now he is the public safety director, Manuel Miranda.
Good morning. Our heart is heavy right now. Our agency is hurting. We lost a true hero last night. He was part of an intelligence unit within the Newark Police Division. He's been on the job for 5 years. He's been a detective for the last 2 years. Since being promoted to detective, he was assigned to the intelligence unit. The intelligence unit works in collaboration with the U.S. Attorney's Office, with our federal partners, county and state partners. Last night, it was a team effort between our federal partners and our Newark Police Division that were working last night to capture an individual who they believe had a weapon. As the prosecutor stated, he didn't even get a chance to step out of the vehicle before he was struck. So our hearts are heavy. We're leaning on one another for support. We're going to be there for the family. The family was there last night. His mother and his father and approximately 5 brothers were at the hospital mourning him, grieving him. We're going to be issuing a statement on funerals for the future and pay him the respect that he deserves. He was a true hero. Not only is the agency's mourning, our community is mourning also. I've been getting phone calls since last night from all our community leaders. Our Office of Violence Prevention Program was out there with us, supporting us. We have our peer-to-peer support out there assisting our officers. They were there last night supporting our officers along with Fraternal Order of Police and the Superior Officers Association unions. So I ask the community to please keep the family in their prayers and to keep this agency in your prayers. They're grieving, we're hurting, and we have to be here for one another. I want to thank our federal partners who was here from last night also, as they mentioned, all the special agents in charge of the FBI, the DEA, ATF, and the Homeland Security, the county prosecutor's office, the U.S. Marshals. Nobody went home until everybody was captured. So I appreciate their efforts. I appreciate all their help, and just continue to pray for this agency, our officers, our detectives, and the family. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Miranda. He just mentioned something very important. The City of Newark has an Office of Violence Prevention and Intervention. I'm sure I have the name slightly wrong, but the mayor will correct me on that. But the key part is that this is an entity which is an official part of the City of Newark, yet it acts to interact with the public and offers all sort of information and assets between law enforcement and the community. NPD, the Newark Police Division, has benefited from it, as the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, as the entire community has. And that is really the idea, the brainchild of Mayor Baraka. And so I'd like him to come forward on behalf of the residents of the City of Newark.
First, I just want to thank the Newark Police Division, Public Safety, Fire as well, for being on the scene last night, helping our police officers. I want to thank all of our partners here, the prosecutor's office, our public safety director, the chief, and all the work that they did, Office of Violence Prevention, making sure we brought people to justice. This morning, we could make a statement that individuals were, in fact, arrested, who were responsible for this heinous, callous disregard for humanity. We mourn, as the public safety director said, the over 300,000 residents of this city mourn the loss of a police officer and the shooting of another in the whole public safety ecosystem. We mourn them collectively. These are officers who got up this morning, yesterday morning, to do their job, to go outside and make sure our streets were safe, to make sure 8-year-olds are not killed by stray bullets, to make sure our grandmothers could sit on their porches in peace, to make sure our neighborhoods are not overrun with violence and guns. They were doing their job, getting intelligence around guns on the street, and they went to a scene that many of us would not have gone to. In fact, I don't know many people that would have went to that scene, knowing that danger lived there, that the opportunity to get yourself in grave danger was possible, and they went anyway. And unfortunately, one of our officers did not recover from that. I texted my wife last night. She texted me that she was sad. I said, why? Thinking she was thinking about something different. She said, all of this makes me sad. And I'm thinking, maybe she's sad that the police officer is dead, or sad that 14-year-old could get their hands on an automatic weapon, or sad that a 14-year-old would think that they should shoot at a police officer in the middle of the night, in the evening, or sad that our system has not figured out how to keep guns out of kids' hands, or we haven't figured out how to mentor our kids out of difficult situations and problems that they feel like they need to resolve their conflicts with guns and weapons on the street. We just have to do a better job. I have to do a better job. Our families have to do a better job. The community has to do a better job at making sure that our children are not handling guns in the street, shooting at police officers. This is not a police problem. This is our problem. This is our collective problem. And if this continues, it will continue to be our problem. And so, you know, I'm here standing not just as the mayor of the city, but as a father of 2 little kids, you know, who know my peers have kids the age of the kids who were out in the street that night, who were going to communicate all last night and this morning about how did little kids get an opportunity to be involved in a situation like this. And what the hell can we do as residents of this city to make sure this never happens again? So, again, we mourn the loss of our officer. We are praying for the recovery, complete recovery of the other officer, and we are standing side by side by the hundreds of police officers here in the city of Newark who are mourning, who are grieving because of this incident.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
We are praying for everything. We're praying for our communities, and this needs to be a wake-up call. And frankly, I want to issue a challenge to the entire community to focus less on some of the difficulties that are happening on a macro level in our society today, and to focus on the things that we can control, and that's our particular communities. We need to focus laser sharp on trying to find the reason why this 14-year-old was in the situation that he was. Had a gun, felt he could use it against the police. That's a crazy situation. That's one that cannot go unchecked. So it's up to all of us. It's up to every clergyman. It's up to every school district. It's up to everyone, every parent particularly, to make sure that their young people who they are in charge of have the wherewithal and the understanding to know that whatever age they are as a teenager is the embryonic portion of their life, and they've got so much more to live for. They've got to get there, though, and we've got to help them get there so they can really reach the fruition that their life really offers for them. So we're available for a few questions right now. Obviously, as I said, it is a continuing investigation, so please do not be too frustrated if there are questions that we cannot fully answer. Yes, sir.
Sir, could you please spell Officer Azcana's name?
Yes. Azcana, Joseph, first name, last name, A-Z-C-O-N-Z-A.
Thank you.
Is that it?
No Z.
No Z. That's right there. That's what's written. That's written here. A-Z-C-O-N-A.
Thank you.
Clarify how many people are in custody, please?
At this time, we have 5 individuals, right? 5 individuals in custody.
Condolences, Sheriff Detective. Was the 14-year-old the target of the investigation, and is he believed to be the gunman? And can you elaborate a little bit about this investigation? Because clearly a bunch of responsible individuals are involved.
Well, there's an active investigation there. As I said, police went there with the thought that there would be illegal guns in that area. However, this juvenile has been charged, as I said, with murder, attempted murder, and possession of illegal weapons.
And the other people involved, we believe that the 14-year-old is the gunman, correct?
He's been charged
And you went there looking for him specifically, or just illegal activity in general?
on the report of illegal activity.
Gotcha.
Is the other officer in critical condition at this time?
His injuries are thought to be non-life threatening.
You've been listening to a briefing from the Essex County Prosecutor's Office on the shooting that occurred last night in Newark, New Jersey at about 6:30 in the evening. Joseph Azcana, 5-year veteran, Newark Police Department is the officer that was killed at the scene. The other officer, as he just mentioned, non-life-threatening injuries. A 14-year-old has been charged with murder, and that 14-year-old is in the hospital at this hour.
And we heard there a very emotional prosecutor, Theodore Stevens, the Essex County prosecutor, talking about that 14-year-old, saying this needs to be a wake-up call, he said. We need to be focused laser sharp on why this 14-year-old was in the situation that he was. We're going to, of course, continue to follow this. Right now, though, a quick break. Stay with us. You're watching CBS News New York.